Hi guys, welcome back to I Slay Spina Bifida. Here on this channel, we slay in all things that comes our way. Today, you guys, before I get into my video, I want to remind you guys to don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and comment. Also, make sure that notification bell is on so that every time I drop a video, you guys will be notified. All right, so today, yes, we are going to be a little serious about hygiene and incontinence disability. This is mainly for people with incontinence disability, but also the product that I'm going to talk about, as you guys know in the title, is for everybody. But I just want to give some tips to those who are living with incontinence disability, where, you know, you're not able to control your bladder or things like that, and how to be clean, and especially it starts on the inside. So I'm going to talk a little bit more about that and give you some tips on how to achieve, you know, staying fresh and clean all day. So you guys, some of you guys know, I do have an incontinence disability, and that was caused by spina bifida. I have no control of my bladder. So if you guys are not familiar, what is spina bifida? It's a birth defect where basically your nerves that are damaged, and it's where babies are born. Sometimes their spinal cord is exposed. Some baby's spinal cord is outside the cavity of the spine, but in my case, it was just exposed. It wasn't outside my back, and it caused damage where I can't feel my feet. I'm not able to feel certain areas of my body, like my buttocks and my bladder. So that's where the incontinence come from. And I'm not like the average woman where I'm able to, you know, feel when I have to go to the bathroom. I mainly time myself. And then not only that, I use a catheter to drain my bladder. So I'm explaining all of this because I found a solution to my hygiene problem. And I want to share some tips with you guys of what I did to achieve staying fresh all day, and you know, just to control the hygiene part. Excuse me, you guys. So the first thing you want to do, and this is for people who use a straight catheter, or if you have a Foley catheter, which I'll talk about a little bit about that in the video. But the first thing you want to do, if you're straight cathing yourself, you must wash your hands at all times, before and after you straight cath yourself. In my case, for example, what I do before I use the washroom, I wash my hands. And I don't mean just like sticking my hands under the water without soap. You must wash your hands with soap. But what I do is, what I call is the surgeon wash, where I wash my hands like this, my arms and things like that. Because you don't want to touch a catheter that is going inside of you and it's contaminated because you didn't wash your hands. So that's very important, because if it's contaminated, part of the problem could be that you have you attracted a UTI or some type of bacterial infection that causes you to smell strong, or your urine to smell strong. So you have to make sure that you wash your hands before and after you catheterize yourself. But if you have a Foley catheter, and say for instance you're in a nursing home, I would suggest to advocate for yourself, because sometimes you have people who's working in that field, and some of them really don't care what goes on with your body. So that's when you have to advocate for yourself and let them know, hey, I am prone to infection, especially if you know that you're sensitive in those areas, and you have back-to-back UTIs, and it's because they didn't change the Foley. Well, you have to let them know, I am prone to infections. I need you to change the Foley catheter for me, because I can end up with a UTI. Prime example, I was in a nursing home and I had a Foley catheter, and the nurse, the head of the nurse, I ain't gonna say the nurse, the head of the nurse said, well, we don't change Foley catheters. Well, she basically told the nurse that don't change my Foley catheter unless there's something wrong with it. And that goes for anybody in that facility that had a Foley catheter. And I had to come to address her and say, and I was not mean about it, but I did say, well, I am prone to infections, and I think you should tell the nurses to change my Foley catheter. Not until there's something wrong with it, but frequently, so I won't get these UTIs. And, she basically told me she knew what she was doing. She was in the facility for 20 years and blah, blah, blah. But you don't know anything about my body. Okay? I know my body. And at the time, I was like 39 years old. I've been living in my body for 39 years. So I know my body. And if I have a signs or symptoms of having a UTI, it's because you didn't change the Foley catheter. So she ignored me. Sure enough, the next day I was burning up with a fever, and the infection got so bad it went to my kidneys. So you should never treat, I'm talking to the facilities in these nursing homes. If a person is telling you about their body, I think you should listen and not look over them because, they have a disability and they don't know what they're talking about. My brain is not in my wheelchair, and it's not in my leg. It's in here. And so if I'm telling you that I need my Foley catheter to be changed because I can get sick, why not do the thing that is supposed to help a person? But I digress. We'll talk about that in another video. So that's what you want to do. You want to tell somebody to help you change your Foley catheter. Mainly the people that work in the field, in the medical field, that you need to change it. But for those who are using a straight catheter, you want to make sure that you are washing your hands. Like I said, do the surgeon wash and use non-latex gloves while handling a sterile catheter. And what I do, because I am in the wheelchair, I make sure my box of gloves is sitting right next to me on the sink. And because I have to change the gloves, you know, and that is because I'm touching the rail to transfer myself onto the toilet so I can take care of my business. But before I, you know, use the washroom, I change my gloves, both of them. Even though I use one of them to touch on the rail, I still change both gloves. Just extra precautions so that I won't, you know, contaminate the catheter. And then once I do that, I, you know, immediately straight cath myself, take care of my business, and do the things that I need to do, you know, to smell fresh. So that's number one advice. Number two, I know that water is not flavorful. It doesn't taste like anything, and you want something sugary or whatever. But it is so important to drink your water because it helps flushes out whatever bacterial that you have inside of you. Because, you know, once you use the washroom and your urine is strong, that is because it's signs maybe you're not drinking enough water. So drinking your water is very important. I know for me, I drink a whole lot of water, not because, not just because, I want to keep my insides clean, but also I take medication. So of course I have to drink a whole lot of water. And, I'm also thinking about, my kidneys and my bladder. So that's what I do. I drink my water. Another thing you may want to think about and consider is getting you some azo cranberry supplements and the azo supplements that helps prevent other infections like yeast infections. Some of us may be sexually active. Yes, people with disabilities are sexually active. So if that's the case too, you may want to take those azo supplements, the cranberry one and the one that keeps you from getting yeast infections. Take those daily because it's important. And that also can help contribute with your hygiene so that once you go to the bathroom, you won't have a strong odor coming from downstairs. The other thing is you can consider drinking maybe some cranberry juice. Now, I know most people love Ocean Spray cranberry juice. It's delicious. It really is. But it does have a little sugar in there. Now, I know, that's the favorite thing that people love to drink. And, some people say it helps them. Okay, it helps you. But for those that know that, even a little sugar in your drink a little goes a long way. So in order for you to keep your hygiene in control, I would suggest drinking the cranberry juice that don't have the sugar. I know it is very bitter and nasty, but I was always told what's nasty for you may be good for you. And it's true. You know, some of these things that you drink and it has a lot of sugar could contribute to you smelling strong. So I would suggest getting the bitter 100% no sugar added cranberry juice. I do it all the time. I drink my ocean spray with my dinner or whatever I'm eating that day. But after I get through eating or whatever, I do wash it down with water. And in the morning time, I drink the cranberry juice, the 100% pure cranberry juice with nothing else. Just drink it. That's what I do. And the first few times I did have to convince myself this is medicine. This is good for your kidneys. This is good for your bladder. So it keeps you from having infections. So you have to drink this. So, okay, I got to drink this. And ever since then, I'm just used to it now. Like, I just drink it. But that can help also prevent you from having UTIs. Because if you're not drinking enough water or drinking your cranberry juice and you're just drinking juice and pop and all of those sugary things, it can lead you to have an infection. And, you don't want to keep having all these infections. And then once you go back and forth to the doctor, you're like basically trying to get rid of it, and they give you some antibiotics. Your body is immune to it, so you don't want that to happen, because it happened to me now. And that only happened because like I said, I was in a nursing home and I kept having these back-to-back UTIs, and it was because they was not changing the Foley catheter like they're supposed to change it. And it got so bad, the infection spread it to my kidneys. I was in so much pain. And I ended up having to get the antibiotics through the vein. And it was very strong. It knocked me out. Like, I was asleep. It make you sleepy. So you don't want those type of things, because I was not only getting one antibiotics through the vein, I had like two of them. Two through the vein and one by mouth. It had to be strong. So that means I had a very nasty infection. So you don't want those things to happen. So you try to, take extra precautions, take extra measures to take care of yourself. And yeah, and then the other thing, the last thing I wanted to talk about is find you some type of hygiene product that will not knock your pH balance off. And I have a little testimony with that. I struggle so bad with my hygiene and my incontinence. Like I said, I have no control of my bladder, and that's because of spina bifida. And the doctor, when I was young, they would tell me, oh, well, you have to time yourself when you have to go to the bathroom. And they would tell me, okay, you're supposed to go every 4 hours. Well, no, I'm not going to go every 4 hours, because I found out if I go every 4 hours, I am soaking wet and I'm in public, embarrassed. So no, I'm not going to go every 4 hours. It's either every 3 hours and every 2 hours, and it works for me. And I don't have lots of accidents, you know what I'm saying? So, but still, and, having an incontinence disability for me, it affected my love life. I'm being real. I'm talking real stuff here. And I was in the depression stage. I developed anxiety. I did not want to be around nobody but my family, because they were the only ones I felt like understood that I have an incontinence disability, and I'm not doing stuff to just be doing it on purpose. Because, I'm the type of woman, I love to smell good. I love to get in the shower and do what I got to do to take care of myself, and that's the type of person that I am, because I love me. But because other people don't understand that I have an incontinence disability, and it's something that I cannot control, and I'm not doing this on purpose, yeah, let's just say some people are jerks. Those are the people that don't want to realize, or they don't want to understand a person's disability. But yeah, I didn't, at that point, I didn't want to have a love life because of my issue. And a couple months ago, I realized, God is able to do anything. And like I was saying, I have a testimony about, me believing in love again. Because at the time, I didn't want to believe that there was love out there for me because of my issue. I kind of down talk myself, like, don't nobody want to be with me because I have this issue. And I used to question God. I'm being real when I say this. I used to. I don't question him anymore about my disability. But I used to always question him and throw the scripture back at him. Because, if the good book says it's not good for man to be alone, meaning men and women. He has somebody out there for you. And I never understood that, especially when this has happened to me, which I did blame him for it. And I said, why did you allow this to happen? I mean, you could have, I was like, I understand that I have issues that I can't feel anything. But why did you allow this to attack my bladder out of everything else? You could have left that alone. Because I felt like being embarrassed in front of public and everything like that, people is evil. They're just evil. So, but I realized, people talk about Jesus Christ. So who am I that I can't be talked about? So that's when my attitude changed. Now you can say whatever you want to say and I wouldn't care. All I got to do is talk to my Heavenly Father, put you in God's hand, because I truly believe that God's punishment is way, way worse than human being. His punishment is more powerful. So you put that enemy, whoever's talking about you or saying negative things about your disability or whatnot, whatever they're saying about you, wicked things, you put them in God's hand and watch him handle them. And he will handle them in his own time. Not your time, but his time. So I always put my enemies or whoever wants to say bad, wicked things about me, I just put them in his hands. It took a lot of work because I ain't gonna lie. You know, I used to be that West Side chick ready to fight. I was the one that I would take anything off my chair, like my leg rests, and ready to bust them upside the head to the white meat. That was me. But I had to realize, you know, my father, he's a pastor and he's always preaching. And he always say, if you love God, you show him. Forgive your brother. Okay, I love God. And I truly do love God. And I don't want him judging me about me misbehaving myself because of what people say. You know, I never let nobody identify who I am. So God knows my name, and if that's what you want to do, that's, hey, I'm just gonna leave it there. So, like I said, having an incontinence disability, it was challenging. And still challenging, you know, even though I found a solution to my hygiene problem, I still have no control of my bladder. So I'm working on that as well with prayer. So I'm praying that, you know, whatever God leads me to, a person, a doctor, where, you know, I can discuss with him about solutions instead of taking all these medications that it ends up with my body being immune to it. So that's what's happening now. But in the meantime, while I'm waiting, I did come up with the solution, and it is Lumi. This is not sponsored. So, you know, YouTube I'm just showing what I used. Lumi has helped me. Oh, shoot. Y'all saw it. This is what I go through daily, y'all. I'm dropping stuff on the floor. I get it with my reacher. And it's not by me right now, so. But, yeah, I use Lumi. It's a body deodorant. And all I do is, you know, screw the thing up so the creamy substance could come out. And I take my finger and I swipe over the bottle. It only takes a little bit. And I rub it on top of my pelvic bone. And then, this is after I take a shower. And then, I'm smelling good all day long. All day long. Even, you know, there are some days I'll have a little accident because I couldn't get to the bathroom. They don't smell the urine because I'm taking those extra minute or extra time to make sure I'm drinking my water and taking my azo, cranberry supplements. And I'm, you know, making sure I'm washing my hands before and after I catheterize myself. And drinking my cranberry juice, the pure kind. And it helps. It really helps. So find you a hygiene product, because it might not be in the stores. I had to realize that, the age of, I think I was 40 years old when I started using Lumi. And they have other products they have the body wash. Put it all over your body, and you're supposed to stay fresh all day long. That Lumi body deodorant and this, they're not lying. Especially the Lumi body deodorant. You stay fresh for 72 hours. I never tested that way because your girl loves taking her showers every day. So I'm not going to, not take a shower for 3 days. That's just not me. I don't want to do that. But I can believe it because it keeps me fresh for over 6 hours, maybe on up to 12. If I'm having a good day and I don't have an accident on myself, it really works. So find a hygiene product that works for you. Lumi doesn't only work for women. It also works for men. You can find you the kind that is not scented, or if you prefer something scented and you want to smell like a flower, who am I to judge? That's what you want to smell like. Go for it. But they do have some that is not scented, and you can rub it on your armpit, under your armpits. Ladies, if you're busty, I'm a busty girl. So I make sure I rub it under my breast. And I also rub it on my bottom. So that, when you're standing up and you're sitting down, you don't get a whiff of anything smelling like sweat. I believe it's really good for people who are incontinent because I not only deal with that, I do wear pull-ups. And for those who wear diapers or pull-ups, I believe this will help, and it keeps you fresh, and you don't smell, sweaty. Don't smell like urine or anything else. This stuff is really good. And I know, people say what's good for me may not be good for you. Well, if you feel that way, why don't you just at least, maybe buy a little sample bottle, because I think they have like a little cream about this tall that they have, and you could, try that and see if it works for you. It is vegan, and it's pH optimized, eliminates odor restriction, promotes healthy skin. What the body wash does. But it's the same thing with the deodorant, the body deodorant. It says it's vegan and cruelty free, and gynecologist approved. And actually, this was invented by gynecologists. So it's it cleans gentle. It's plant-based ingredients, so it's natural. So, like I said, this may not work for some. You'll probably be able to go to a regular store and get you some Vagisil, and it might not knock your pH balance off. Or some Summer Eve, and it may not knock your pH balance off. But I've tried both of those, and it knocked my pH balance off. It did not help me at all. So, just a suggestion, you guys, maybe you should try Lumi. They also have soap, and they also have wipes, which I had to order some more of that because I ran out. And I just, go about my day, pack up my little bag that that I'm gonna use for the day. You know, have my little extra clothes just in case, you know, because of my incontinence. And then I just go about my day with my Lumi, and I stay fresh all day long, y'all. Now I have a lot of more confidence when it comes to my hygiene. You know I smell good. It really helps. It really does. So I hope that you guys gotten something out of this. And yeah, just a suggestion that I thought I should share with someone who's actually going through the same thing I'm going through. Or you may not, you know, if you know you need to drink a little bit more water and drink the pure cranberry juice with no sugar, then maybe you should do that. So, you know, your urine won't smell strong, and actually your urine will be very clear like water if you drink water, a lot of water. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Until next time, you guys, don't forget that I love you, but God loves you even more. Until next time, bye. Mwah.